fix the inside, then the outside will eventually take care of itself. So when you said that, I thought about you know, that whole mindset. And then too, when we look at, we were talking about before with society and people, you know, not taking care of their bodies like they should, and just being very loose, particularly women, how they carry themselves. This has been happening for a long time. The difference is we're now more vocal about it because we have this whole independent streak and, you know, freedom of speech. But I'm 32 years old. I share my testimony wherever I go, and I am a virgin. So it goes to show you it can happen if you allow God to keep you.
Excuse me, y'all. I got to clap one more time. A virgin.
All right. Praise God.
Praise God.
But my point is not in brag or boast, but to say if it can still be done. And when I was 11 years old, there were girls being pregnant. I grew up in LA. When I was 11 years old, sex was common. By the time I hit 13, they were like, you still a virgin? So it's not that this stuff has not ever been happening. It's just now, for whatever reason, it's more prevalent in the forefront. So again, what I've come to discover, I can't give anybody else's testimony, but in my life, when someone told me what I was worth and told me that I was worth more than dinner in a movie and told me that I was worth more than thighs up the hair. Because the truth of the matter, I've met people who were anointed and had weave out the woodwork. I've known people who had what I would think was the wrong attire on, but were really genuine people. But it's a matter of fixing the inside first, and then we won't even have to have a conversation about the outside. It'll work itself out.
Who told you that you were special? Who told you?
Honestly, when I was younger, my mother, I was so afraid of her. I was like, I am not having sex because if she catches me, it's over. That was my original. So it was originally just fear, the fear of my mother when I was like 11 or 12. But when I became a teenager and I came to know God and I found out what His Word said, I was like, wow, so this is a gift. There's something special about this. And then as I got older, wait a minute, everybody's not holding on. There must be something really special about this. So then I began to see what God said about me in the Word. And then I was like, oh my goodness, so this is supposed to be a gift from my husband? It's not just my own. So wanting to do the right thing and wanting to be morally acceptable and correct is what really was my driving force. But it really took someone showing me and seeing godly examples. Now, we know everybody in church ain't right. We know everybody ain't doing what they're supposed to do. But there
especially in my church.
But you're setting an example for your church. So there's a little girl seeing Carla and saying, you know what, there's something about her, she's beautiful, and I want to be like her. So someone's seeing your testimony. I always say it like this, become the change we want to see. So because we can you know, talk and reason and rationale all day long, but if we never walk it out, we are just like making noise.
Well, that's why we're doing this show today. I was a virgin when I got married. First marriage, though. Okay, I will say I was a virgin, and I believe in that. And also, I was scared of my dad. You know, my dad made me so afraid that he used to tell me that if you did anything, you would be disowned. And I was so, what do you call it, immature, I believed him. And nowadays, these kids, their parents can say whatever, and they
have no respect,
you have
no fears, no nothing.
Wow.
They're telling their parents what to do.
But still, we have to change it. Also, I was reading another article. They're saying that little girls at the age of 9-year-old are getting their periods now.
Oh, 7.
Wow, 7.
Oh my God.
And that's what made me discover.
We have got to empower and educate our young women.
But why are they getting their periods at
It's the
7
hormones
years
in the
foods.
It's
And then the
food.
stress level.
And
That when you're stressed, and you know, kids, they even like the obesity children. See, that's something that they turn to because of stress. Some kids turn to sex. So everything is shifting. My niece came on at 7. I was horrified when my sister called and told me that.
7?
7, and she had 7 other little girlfriends in her class that's now have their cycle.
Oh, wow. That is so sad.
So that means it's getting
grade.
younger.
Do you know that I was 18 years old when I got my cycle? I was already a freshman in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were eating whole
And they
foods.
thought something was wrong with me.
We weren't eating meat that had all kind of
Exactly.
hormones shot into it to make it grow fast, which makes our children grow fast. Someone told me you should never feed your child animal milk.
I agree.
Because it makes them act like an animal.
Well, milk is, they're saying milk is not for us.
It's not.
It's for a cow.
That's right. That's what the
I've heard
mother
that.
cow feeds her young. That's why we have breast milk.
Yeah, but women don't want to
They
breastfeed.
don't want to hear it, but
Another level of laziness.
that's it.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you.
It's the easiest thing in the world.
It is for some people, but there's also some people that, I'm a woman of God, but I'm also vain. Not trying to be smart, but when women breastfeed, when they get done, their breasts look like 2 pancakes. Not trying to be smart.
They do.
But
yeah.
Well,
but
I'm
then
just
you
saying.
can pump the milk and give it to them in a bottle. So you have some options,
You
but
have a lot of
another
options.
level.
But I'm
of
just saying,
makes
I've seen
healthier
some women at the
children.
gym, and I'm like, okay, so not trying to be smart, but I just did the bottle. Okay.
They, the antibiotics in mother's milk keeps your child protected for at least 2 years. They don't get any of the things children that are on Enfamil and Similac and all that other stuff is. And it makes them smarter.
And that's God's way, so I believe that.
And they make them closer. They're closer to
the
their
bonding
mother.
The bonding is a little different too.
My daughter is 29
but you know what
now.
women say today also, though? They say that a lot of times they don't breastfeed because the man can't help. You know, if the woman's doing all the pumping and the breast,
that's not his job.
Well, you know what? To be honest, they should have started that problem. That was a problem before the child was even there.
Right.
Your choice. You chose that prior to.
But that is what women say. Go ahead.
Oh no.
Okay, but that is.
I don't have children, so I'm observing.
Okay. But that's just saying. You know, that's what I do. I mean, I run my mouth. I'm always talking to people. But women, they don't breastfeed anymore. You know.
Amazing. But that's why they're in the doctors and Grady Hospital and all that. Ear infection, this, that, not, those illnesses. Body can't fight off anything.
All right, we're gonna go back to this, but the V-bar, the Vagina Booty Bar Soap.
After sex soap.
The after sex soap.
Okay, well, let's start at the very beginning. What made you think of a soap called the Vagina Booty Bar Soap?
We go back to educating. I've been a holistic natural hairstylist for 23 years. So I've been making my products. I've actually made people who get chemo, hair grow back. It's all in God's word in Genesis. Everything you need to eat, from the earth, the herbs, the fruit, that's what's for us, that's what's gonna happen. But I am, like I said, I'm a child of 7, and one of my sisters, she would break out, she would go outside and break out. And so she was like, you gotta concoct me something for the vajayjay. So I said, okay, well, let me
she would go outside and break out in
She would everywhere.
Okay.
She was
just
very sensitive.
Very sensitive.
Okay.
So 7 years ago, I made her this soap. She has not broken. I mean, it's been amazing to see what's been going on with her, because what I also found out is that she used it all over her body. So the different ingredients in the soap has helped her skin, because she had eczema and those type of things too. I mean, it's just helped everything. But at the same time, we go back to the young ladies. Because their bodies are so mature, they smell like grown women.
Yes.
So this was a way, and I'm not sure about you all's homes, and I had older sisters, so we always talked about those things. But most women of color, their homes, it's taboo. Mom feels embarrassed to talk about how to clean your vagina.
Well, I'm not embarrassed to say anything.
Hello, I'm like, wait a minute, that don't smell right.
Yeah.
We need to talk about, but so every time me and Gail go out, we had the shirts on, or we start talking about it. We in Home Depot, before you know, the people in line, the lady who's cashing us out, we all talking about it. It's taboo. And so see, what happens is, just with certain type of toilet paper, if you use a certain type of toilet paper, you can cause bacteria, which causes cancer. So if it's not properly clean, I read a story of a 4-year-old. I guess her mother taught her the best way she could, and she did not clean all the tissue out of her vagina. Next thing you know, she got all these yeast infections over a period of 3 years.
A child with yeast infection?
4 years old.
Because the
and then
paper
next
stayed in there
the
with
paper
the
stayed in, so the growth.
And it just festered.
Oh, God.
And so before you know it, early stages of ovarian cancer. And so I want to start at the root. If we can teach them how to properly clean, we can kind of prevent those things to happening. And so that's one of the reasons.
Other things along with that.
But not trying to interrupt you, but I mean, I'm just in shock. So you're saying a 4-year-old.
4-year-old.
The mom's not checking her?
Apparently she did not.
Apparently she didn't.
So
but it seems like when she wiped it, stayed in there.
I mean,
a piece of tissue stayed in there, and then bacteria grew on the tissue. And before you know it, she kept trying to figure out why her daughter had this discharge in her. And I'm just like, 4 years, come on, 4 years old. So it's something that I wanted to be able to, as a gift to young women. I want to promote healthy feminine hygiene. And if we could talk, just like right now we do sell it in 7 Under, and even in 7 Under, the buyer said, well, some people are a little offended by the name. I'm like, wow. But ovarian cancer, that should be more offensive.
That's right.
You get the things that we blow up. It amazes me. Like, wouldn't you want the child? And it's amazing, because me and Gail was sitting there and we was going online and we was looking at all the different names that in other countries that they called of JJ. It blows my mind. But the proper name that we know is vagina, and that's on the soap in the store, and that's still offensive. So it's so many, it's almost like it's taboo to talk about. So this was a way that we could start a conversation, but we can also purchase this soap to young ladies, use this as a tool to go to group homes, just anything that deals with children. I want to get it in the health classes in the public schools, when they start talking about sex education. See, those type of things. If we can get it from the beginning, we can prevent ovarian cancer, which all the doctors, insurance company, pharmaceutical, they all work together. So their key is not to get something that's going to cure.
All right, we're talking about the little girls, but there's grown women. When I go to the restroom and I smell a grown woman that smells like there's sardines down there, I want to know, I mean, how can a grown woman, a married woman, not know that she stinks?
Well, let us answer that. Do you know how many grown women walk around here thinking that they're supposed to have a fishy smell? Well, and brothers too.
And they think that that's the way their woman is supposed to smell. So they don't know any different. And they have not been taught any different, that it is not correct, it is not all right
it's
to
supposed
get up
to smell
out
like
of the
sardines
seat and leave an odor.
Or it's supposed to smell like Red Lobster. Something's wrong with that.
Something is completely
Something is wrong. But they really believe that it's supposed to smell like that.
We've talked to so many other young girls.
It's not supposed to smell like that? No. If it is, something's going on down there.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I had this girl, this is back in college, and I was living on campus, and she sat on my bed. When she got up, I smelled sardines. And I mean, this got to the point that whenever she would come back, I would be like, "Now you can't sit down on my bed anymore." But I wish that I would have known this.
Right.
Exactly.
Know? She didn't know.
She had no. And then some women get accustomed to the smell, so they don't even know. It's almost like picking your purse up. They have no clue.
And these women, I'm talking, all have men.
That don't know.
I gotta educate my brothers. Because I remember I was telling Gail, you know, I was dealing with a gentleman, and he was like, "Wow, you're the cleanest woman I know." That said, run. And because see, I'm like, wow, if I'm the cleanest woman, so apparently, you know, all that said a lot to me.
Okay, well, let's break it down. What does this soap do that, what is it, that Summer's Eve doesn't do?
It doesn't.
Okay, well, for those who get Summer's Eve, please turn the back of the package around. And I want you to try to first pronounce all the names that's on there and then break them down. Summer Eves have a scent to it, alcohol. Since when does alcohol moisturize?
No, it doesn't.
It dries out. So we go back to the pharmaceutical company, insurance. See, it's all marketing in the eye. So they working together. So and it's so amazing because I tell people, because we were just in Baskin Robbins and the women was like, "We from Alabama. What is this about?" Because see, when I was younger, my grandmother used to say, "Gotta keep the pocketbook clean. Keep that purse clean." So Summer's Eve have a perfume smell. Perfume smell have to come from alcohol. What do you think alcohol gonna do? But we're going to use this because what they do, they market it. It's in your eyes. This is the cleanest thing I can get.
Thing you can get.
I remember back in the day, my mother and my grandma used to have this big, and I thought it was something to play with. The big burgundy water bag. I'm like, what is? And, you know, I used to squeeze it
with vinegar and water.
But you better leave my bag alone. I'm like, well, what is the bag for? So I didn't see all this. I was telling Gail, I said, well, I've been doing this since 1998 in D.C. But I remember, and I hated going to my grandmother's house, because every time I would go to my grandmother's house, her house smelled like onions and garlic. And the kids used to tease us, those the onion and garlic kids, so that's what you smell like when you left. But I did not know that she was concocting all these different things that her friends and everybody was coming to her house to get.
But I got a question. I notice, like, if I go out somewhere and eat, I like garlic. I love me some garlic. I could eat garlic all day and all night. But sometimes when I eat garlic and I go to the restroom, I smell garlic coming out of me.
It comes right out of you.
Why?
Let me tell you something. Do you know garlic cures cancer?
I believe it.
That's why it worked through your whole body and it's detoxing all the filth that it found going down.
Good. So it's all right then?
It is.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I say this because it's amazing of the things that God has given us from the beginning of time. If you think about the people in the Bible, they lived to 101 and 109, and it's because the garlic, the onion, and all. I mean, I have different treatments, parsley, cayenne pepper. These are the things that I use to make people's hair grow back. It was the beginning of time. And I can ask everybody in here, I guarantee their grandmother or their mother was doing this when they were younger. Everything you need is already in your kitchen.
Well, so how come we don't know? We all had grandmothers.
Oh, we do know, but let me tell you what happens.
It's not convenient.
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. If we go back to the natural and we really do the garlic, this, that, and the other, there's no more cancer runs, no more money raised for that. It's all money.